Ooh, I think we're live. Let me make sure. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay, beautiful. I think we're good to go. Fingers crossed. Welcome to Inside the Mind of an Idiot. Should be like episode 2. We're bringing it back around. Okay, guys, we're trying to get this thing going. I'm going to be better about it. Let me know what you guys want to see. If there's anything specific. If not, enjoy. So I'm going to kick off with what just happened last couple of days. The biggest thing that happened in the last couple of days, obviously, we have Logan Paul. I lied. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson versus Paul, the worst boxing match ever put on television. One, good for Jake Paul, good for Mike Tyson. They both made money. That's their intention. It's not like they're out there fighting for a belt, obviously. I don't know who to blame it on. Well, I know who to blame it on. I'll say this. I'm a big Ariel Helwani fan, but why even put the microphone in front of Logan Paul? Why give him that? Why give him the opportunity to say something like he did? I mean, it's insane. We all know that guy's just like the biggest jackass on the planet, but he's probably a nice guy. He's a good guy. But that would be more interesting, I think. Something funny is we're seeing a lot of people talk about how Tyson pulled his punches. He wasn't actually trying to knock Jake out. Okay, fair enough. Maybe that's true. If it is, was his entire plan to kind of baby through the fight with Jake so he could knock out Logan? That's a humanitarian deed. You know what I mean? Like, whatever you want to put to it. That's like joining the Peace Corps, okay? That's like living in Colombia for 7 months, taking care of whatever the hell they take care of there, whoever funds that. I don't know really what goes on with the whole Peace Corps thing, but you heard it here first, folks. Mike Tyson, newest member of the United States Peace Corps. And if they did fight, say Logan and Mike Tyson fight, is that Tyson versus Paul too, technically? I think so. I think we will see Logan Paul, Mike Tyson, just because, anybody would watch Mike Tyson, obviously, like A-plus side of the card. But, just from start to finish, like total shit show, you want to be a respectable event, and you got other stuff going on, right? You got fighters doing like crazy stuff in the ring with other fighters. You got the women's fight, everybody watched that with their own eyes, right? I think Andre Ward at the very end, he might have said something that he said something that made sense, where he was like, it can't be fight of the year, in fight of the year contention, and it also be it also be a robbery. But she landed 100 more punches, and there was a point deduction. I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't know. Especially at the end of that first round, she almost took her out. She was, I mean, she was almost gone at the end of that first round. Serrano, I don't know, man. I don't know. That looked like you just can't trust boxing. It's such a shady sport. So who knows? Maybe boxing will get better over the next couple of years. But another thing, Tyson's bare ass. Come on, man. You want to talk about working with amateurs? All that crap going on in the ring and the shoddy decision and the women's fight, and then we watch Mike like crying in the corner because he's exhausted at 60 years old, which makes your throat well up because you're like, God, am I about to cry watching this old man sit here in the corner crying from pure exhaustion? Yeah, probably. I found myself almost crying, but what amateur put his bare ass on there? I don't think that's the cameraman's fault. I mean, there's like a technical director on the back end that it's like, bro, and there's a delay. It's like, how long were you staring at Mike Tyson's bare ass before you decided to not take it off the TV? It's like, what? It's like, I mean, come on, guys. It can't be everything buffered that entire time except Mike Tyson's fucking black ass. What the fuck is going on here? It doesn't make any sense. The whole thing buffers. We can't watch one thing. We can't watch 5 seconds of the thing continuously until that. I'm just saying. It's a humiliation ritual. Mike Tyson's definitely probably getting a bigger check than we realize, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Dana White, post-fight Dana White, after the Stipe John fight, he said something interesting, that he was wrong, Mike Tyson was right, which I've never heard Dana White say he was wrong. But Dana White said that Mike told him, there's no way this kid can do anything to me because he sucks. I'm starting to feel like, and I got to give props to Jake Paul. I mean, yeah, obviously he's not selling pay-per-views, right? It's free. Everybody has Netflix. Everybody can watch this fight. And they needed to test it, right? That's kind of like, that's consensus at this point, is that this was a test because Christmas Day, they're going to play some NFL games. Even Jerry Jones leaked that the Super Bowl is coming to Netflix. So, I mean, keep your eye out for that, because, I mean, that's what's going to end up happening here is you're going to have Amazon Prime, Netflix, Apple Plus. They're going to be where everything is. The Super Bowl is going to be played on Netflix. I mean, it's already in front of 100+ million people or whatever. It's like, dude, it's going to be crazy. Imagine FIFA. FIFA would crash freaking everything, right? I mean, it's 1 billion+ people that watch the World Cup. So, in due time. But, yeah. I think Dana, I hate to say this because I'm a Dana White fan. I love Uncle Dana. I think he's awesome. I think MMA is awesome. I love the UFC. I've been watching him for a decade plus. I freaking love him. But dude, it seems like this guy's just fucking downright jealous of the fact that Jake Paul is arguably the best promoter on the planet. I mean, literally. I mean, the fact that this kid, because the reality is everybody thought that was going to be a little bit better, I think, right? Especially when you watch the training stuff from Tyson. Jake's younger. It just, you figured it was going to be a better fight. I get it. It's a 30-year-old versus a 6-year-old. I really don't give a shit. That 60-year-old's fucking Mike Tyson. Like, let's stop playing. But who knows how Netflix feels? Who knows how DAZN feels? Who knows how Showtime feels? Jake Paul, after the fight, you make a genius move. You market it. You promote it. You market it. You get these guys to pay for it and put all this advertising money behind it, blah, blah, blah. And then you literally tell after the fight, like, I carried the guy because he's old and I didn't want to knock him out. It's like, bro, don't, that's like you get into Six Flags. You have somebody pay you to get there so you can go on every single ride and put a review on every single ride. And you're like, some of them were a little bit scarier than I thought they'd be. It's like, bro, you got to get on every fucking ride. Like, you're in the park. You told us you were going to ride every ride. I want to see what you told us you were going to do. If you're saying you're going to knock out Mike Tyson, if you couldn't, and then you're just going to give us, you're going to quote unquote carry Mike Tyson. It's like, bro, let's be real. You were scared to get in a phone booth. yeah, you can sit there and like jab and stay at distance, but boy, you didn't want to jump in that phone booth, right? That thing rings. Jake, that phone's not for you, baby. that phone call was not for Jake Paul, obviously. But overall event, I mean, hell, shit, 60 million people watched it or whatever, or 60 million households watched it. So they multiplied that by 2, essentially. 120 million people watched it, probably more. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, hell of an event. But I just feel like Dana White is 100% jealous of Jake Paul. It sounds crazy, but Jake Paul's the best promoter on the planet. It's like, dude, I mean, you've got certified killers fighting every Saturday. I don't know what the numbers look like for ESPN Plus for fight nights, but I mean, it can't be what this guy just put on Netflix. It can't be. And it's like, yeah, is he doing that every single weekend? For sure. But at the same time, it's like it's giving Dana more work to do when it comes to like answering questions about fighter pay and all this stuff, because they're breaking out millions of dollars worth of money for these freaking events. And it's like, who's getting screwed on the back end of it? Who knows? But overall, great event. Love Mike Tyson. I'm a big fan of Jake. So more power to him. And again, Jerry Jones says that the Super Bowl is going to be on Netflix in the next couple of years. Super, super interesting stuff. When it comes to interesting. I don't know why that did that. When it comes to the Cowboys, though, speaking of Jerry Jones, right? The Cowboys. What is going on with the Cowboys? Do we just stay? Do we just, I don't want to say we throw the freaking the season, but it's like a trash season can lead to high picks. High picks lead to good talent. We already have a lot of good talent. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Now, if Jerry Jones, the owner, had a GM that didn't hold his name, Dre, shut up. God, dog. If he was an owner that had a GM that carried his name, that didn't carry his name, I'm pretty sure this GM would already be fired, right? I mean, the lackluster performance of what he did on the offseason, signing Dak to a contract that doesn't make sense. I mean, putting yourself in a position now you're going to have to make harder decisions because you sunk yourself into $250 million contract. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but I believe a GM, if there was just a regular GM for the Dallas Cowboys, he would be long fired if his name was not Jerry Jones. And it's like, that's at the end of the day, it's like, bro, the Cowboys want to win a championship too badly. That's the issue. That's really the problem, right? I mean, if you chase something too hard, you're never going to get it, right? Imagine this, right? You have this beautiful dog that's lived with you. You've had it since a puppy. You've raised it. You've trained it. It's pawing at the door every single day you get home. If you get home one day and you open the door and you just beeline right towards the dog and you just run right at it, that dog isn't going to run up to you and be all lovey-dovey. That dog's going to run away from you. If you run towards something enough, like, it's going to turn and run away from you. I mean, endangered animals is a perfect example. You see these people in National Geographic, they haven't seen, this gold-tailed, red-breasted bird in whatever freaking third world country. The villagers that live there, or, the people that live there that have been surrounded by these birds for decades, centuries, they haven't seen one in 20 years. Some kid from Ohio who loves bird watching packs a freaking camera and quite literally goes out to wherever in the Amazon, and they sit there quietly, patiently, and that bird just ends up landing on a branch in an eye shot to the point where they can take a photo of it. They're like, oh, we haven't seen this thing in decades. That's how this stuff works, right? You do the small stuff. You do your homework. You pack a bag. You book a flight. You put the work in to get there. You set up. You show your patience, etc., right? The Cowboys want a Super Bowl too much. We want to win too badly, which sounds, counterproductive, or counterintuitive. You have to start at the bottom. You have to build brick by brick. They thought they had a good foundation going into the season. We lacked depth. We lacked free agent signings. And we made a dumb decision signing Dak to a $250 million contract. That just is what it is. There's no questions. There's no ifs. There's no ands. There's no buts. I mean, we're watching it play out right now. This is what's happened. This old man can't confess to that because he just is hell bent on the fact that he knows what he's doing. Brother, if you knew what you were doing, I'm 29. I've never seen the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. It's like, dude, I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. Will be from the rest of my life. But, do we let it slide, take a high pick? If we take a high pick, who's our coach? Do we take Shedeur? Are we taking Coach Prime? I don't know what agency represents Stephen A. Smith, Michael Irvin, Rob Ryan, Dez Bryant. I mean, dude, I've seen almost 10 people, maybe more than 10 people, say that Shedeur Sanders is going to get picked number 1 by the Cowboys. And they need to take Deion Sanders as the coach. I'm like, dude, what narrative is this? Who wrote the script for this? Because it's like, no. Like, guys, the mathematical chance that that's a good idea is so fucking ridiculous that the thought of it is a little bit nauseating. The fact that I keep hearing it on loop on every single sports channel, it's a little odd. I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere. But I digress. We also see Jerry Jones talking about Jason Witten, about him being able to be a talented NFL coach. So is it Jason Witten? Is it Deion Sanders? Or do we have a dark horse? And does Bill Belichick, does Billy B? Is the Dallas Cowboy culture so bad that Bill Belichick has to be brought in to run the show? I just don't think Jerry's got it in him to give him the power it takes to really change the culture. I could be wrong. I'm wrong about most things. I'm an idiot. Who knows, though? Maybe it's time to come in there and just, a push broom and a mop just ain't going to fix it. Get everything out. Get everything out of the shop. We need everything off the walls. We need to take down all the shelves. We need to take out all the workshop stuff. Get all the lifts down. Get them outside, and we got to power wash the inside of this bitch. We got to get everything cleaned out of this and restart from brand new. It's got to look brand new next year when we start. It's got to be a brand new looking shop. The whole thing, dude. Fire the mechanics. Fire the service writers. Get rid of everybody. Every single one of them. All of them. Peter Griffin, that's been running the show for the last couple of years, guys, he's just not it. And truthfully, you give Bill Belichick this kind of time, I would be I'd be surprised if you could find more than 2 years where Bill Belichick has had more talent on the New England Patriots teams than what the Dallas Cowboys have had the last couple of years. Seriously. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I know you had Tom Brady, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about overall. They did like veteran minimums and stuff like that, and they got older guys. And, the amount of talent we've had the last handful of years, us not winning is a shame. It really is, and it's something that can be fixed. I don't know why the hell we can't win, but maybe Billy B's the dark horse, and maybe he sneaks in. But let me stay on the prime. All right, let me stay on Deion Sanders. Prime Deion Sanders. This is a cold man. I ain't going to lie to you. This is a cold man. But I did not think he was going to go to the NFL. I was thinking maybe this guy was going to stay, keep kicking butt, doing his thing in Colorado, which, is unbelievable, honestly. Enough people talk about it, but you see what he's had to do the last handful of years, and it's more than impressive, truly. But it wasn't until I saw this video today. Deion Sanders having a moment with Ice Cube on NFL Fox. But I thought he would be staying. Nothing about Deion Sanders kind of made me feel like he was going to end up going.
Your father,
Yep.
your son did the doggone thing. Like,
Yes. Like your son doing the dog.
Two
Sons are doing the
so
doggone.
tell me this.
Yeah.
What would you do? You in my
What
situation.
would you do if you
Help
were in
him
my
get to the next
situation?
level. Any
Come
way
on.
I can.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to help him
But
get
should
to
it
the
go
next
past that or
What do you mean past that?
Let him go to NFL, continue to coach his son.
Hey, come on now. Why not?
And that right there, without a doubt, makes me think that Deion Sanders has already made his mind up. Because, and I know that, this guy's a master marketer, so just putting it out there is going to get headlines, everything like that. Totally respect it. I mean, he's more than masterful when it comes to this stuff. But, I mean, Ice Cube is the president of Raider Nation. They're talking about Las Vegas picking up Shedeur anyways. I mean, it'd be more than interesting to see if that is what ends up shaking out. Is the Raiders pick him up? Deion ends up as the coach. Crazy. If it ends up as the Cowboys, that's nuts. But so that's my next idea. My next question is, if Shedeur gets picked, does Deion Sanders stay the head coach of Colorado if he's not the head coach of the team that Shedeur plays for? Like, is there any opportunity, or is there any future that Deion Sanders takes a job in the NFL as a head coach if he's not the head coach of his son? Interesting. I don't know, but that's one thing that I'm definitely been trying to pay attention to is, is he trying to leave? Is he, because he keeps saying he's going to stay. I know he said he was going to stay at Jackson State, but I mean, I don't fault him for that. It just seems like it seems like he was just climbing up a mountain every single day. And at the end of the, after months and months on end of doing the same thing where you're like, okay, this is going to get fixed. This is going to get fixed. You're going through the off season. You think you're going to get some people that are take advantage of the system. You're going to get them out of there and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, after 2 years, it's like, it's the same old thing. It's the exact same conversation every single week. Like, I'm getting the hell out of here. It's just, this is bad for me. I mean, you're getting to take advantage of it at such a rate. It's like you have to cut ties at a certain point. So does he do that? Does he go to the NFL if Shedeur is not his quarterback? Interesting, I think. Colorado itself. Colorado is a team. If you have not watched Colorado, I mean, if you haven't sat down and watched Colorado, just because of the name recognition itself, I mean, they're can't miss TV. Travis Hunter, the kid's unbelievable. I mean, truly, Travis Hunter's doing something that you would have to be the starting middle linebacker, and you'd have to be the starting quarterback on a team for me to be more impressed about what you can do on a football field. I mean, you would have to be the quarterback of the offense and the defense to be to outdo what Travis Hunter is doing right now. That's the truth. I mean, it's unreal what this kid can do. And I mean, it's, I've been telling people for months, if they win 8 games, he's going to win the Heisman because he just does so much for him. I mean, they're 8-2. He's running away with it right now, even with Ashton Jeanty and stuff like that. And it's like, Ashton Jeanty's going to break a bunch of records, it looks like, but there's going to be an asterisk because it's not 10 or 11 or 12 games or whatever Barry Sanders did it in. He's going to end up doing it in 13, 14 games, 14, 15 games maybe. But Colorado is way better than people realize. They're better than you realize. The Colorado Buffaloes are a much better football team than you guys realize. And I do see a future where they beat BYU. More than likely, BYU and them are going to be one or two in the Big 12. I see them beating them out in the Big 12 and end up going on. I mean, they have a pretty easy schedule, I think, for the end of the year. So, I mean, they could probably coast through this thing. They're going to be much like Texas. They might be able to win out, have a little bit more of a lax schedule, and then get their buys in the first round of the playoffs. So, I mean, this would be really, really interesting. And Travis Hunter being the Heisman, right? I mean, so many people dogged him. Number one player in the country, well-deserved. I mean, the guy's a freak. He's proven to be what he was sold as. I mean, it's he's being marketed, not sold. He's being marketed as a once-in-a-generation player, does this at a way above average level where, I mean, if Mike Mayock's draft board comes out, are we going to be surprised if he's like the number one wide receiver and the number one DB? Will he be? More than likely not. Would I be surprised? No, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the number one wide receiver and the number one defensive back coming out in the draft. That's insane. That is insane. I mean, that's just not something people around football ever thought they'd probably say. But I mean, we have him right here. I mean, he's playing on Saturdays right now, and he's living up to the hype. I mean, he's definitely fulfilling the prophecy that Deion Sanders put forth on Travis Hunter. No question. And what's that say about Deion? Because does he win the Heisman as a wide receiver playing at Florida State or playing at Alabama or playing at Georgia or wherever? Does he win the Heisman as a corner? Does he get to play two ways like he's played for Deion? I mean, I don't think so. I don't. Deion was the perfect coach to give him this opportunity, and I mean, the guy has literally just checked every single box every single weekend that they play. It's pretty remarkable, honestly. With Travis Hunter and Shedeur, though, I think it's almost a lock, especially depending on how they finish the season. If they win the Big 12, I don't even think they have to win a playoff game. They'll get a bye, obviously, so they'll play a little bit later in December or later December, I think, or early January. I think that's a lock for them to have the number one pick. Deion Sanders having the number one pick in the NFL draft as the head coach. It's either his son or, his protege that he plucked from his home state. It's like, come on, dude, this is crazy. This is insane. It's just crazy. So, do we fire Fatty McFatass and bring in Deion? Shit, sure. Why not? I just sold myself on it. Fuck it. Bring him in. Deion, welcome to the team, baby. And he will, just so you guys know, he will have a number on the back of his coaching attire. He will have a number on the back of his coaching attire like a baseball manager. That's what Deion will be rocking. 21 on the sideline. Because if we ever need him, if we're ever in a pinch, slide in old three-toed primetime in there, boys. He knows what he's doing. To finish up here on sports, guys, rookie QBs. 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Jaden Caleb. Started hot for Jaden. 5 weeks in. People had him in the MVP conversation 5 weeks in. Bo looks like he might end up, because Bo doesn't turn the ball over. Bo also has an amazing defense, pretty good O-line. And it's like they don't even really have that high of a they don't have like a crazy running game, right? They don't have like a staunch like wide receiver one. So it's like he's doing a lot for them. He really is. Protecting the ball at that high of a level in the NFL, it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy. And he's doing it week in, week out right now. So, I mean, it's accumulated, right? I mean, they didn't have that we're going to win the Super Bowl with this rookie mindset. But, I mean, they're a playoff team with Bo Nix. So, you look at the difference between Bo Nix and, like, say, Drake May. Both had a little bit longer careers in the NCAA. And that's kind of like the fad now. Is like the younger they come out, the more likely they are to be legit. Is what people, it's just like basketball, right? Like everybody wants 19-year-old kids, but it's like look at Dalton Connect. It's like when they come out, they're ready to go. They've been through the trials. They've been through the tribulations. They've got, they've learned their game. They're not learning what kind of player they are anymore. Now, are they obviously as ultra talented as these guys over here that are 18, 19, 20 that are jumping out of the gym or, have the talent that Caleb has or the talent that Jaden has? No, it's not the same thing. But it's, you don't have to be the fastest, the tallest, the strongest. You know what I mean? Like we see that every single year where look at, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Matty Ice, Roethlisberger, like, these guys weren't Patrick Mahomes. Like Patrick Mahomes from his knees is throwing 75, 80 yards, right? Like if the biggest, fastest, strongest one, and that's what you needed to be the best quarterback in the NFL, Jamarcus Russell would have broke every record, right? I mean, this guy could throw 90 freaking yards. He was 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds, big dude. It's like, it's not that, right? There's more to it than that. So I think that Bo Nix and Drake May are going to give this class that's in right now. A lot of these guys are COVID kids, right? Like we have Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward. I think Beck might be. I don't think Ewers really counts. I think he's just been in like for a regular amount of years, right? Maybe Milrow. I don't know. I'd have to like really look at the specific years that they've been in, but Cam Ward for sure, Dylan Gabriel for sure. Are these guys that, because they've had those extra years, are they in a position now where they have that time? They know what kind of quarterback they are. You put them in, and it's it's not necessarily plug and play because they're not like just like they just jump off the page, but it's somebody who can control an offense, protect the ball, not give just stupid points up, and allow your defense to just be your defense, right? You keep your defense off the field, protecting the ball, and you put yourself in a position where you can work your game. You can try to score points on the front end of the game and then run the clock out, right? I mean, Bo Nix just had his first 300-yard game of the season as a rookie. It's like, in the past, you've seen guys that blow up the box score, but, they're not winning. They don't take their team to the playoff, I mean, it's stuff like that, that's really what they're there for. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Like we're here to make the playoffs. We're here to win championships, and it's about winning, right? That's the business. But interesting take there. Three things I'm going to leave you with real quick. Caitlin Clark is being reported. Caitlin Clark is not going to be playing in the unrivaled 3-versus-3 league that is going to be played down in Miami. That's not a great sign for that unrivaled league. The truth is these women are trying to fight for, like the whole pay, right? The pay disparity is what they want. You need her to be on your team to win that conversation. That's not going to be something you win if, the prize jewel is not there. And it's like, she puts the asses in the seats. It's just the truth. And a lot of these women know it, right? So it's like, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and know what happened there. Because as far as I was concerned, she was playing. But, it seems like, she probably is just going to work on her game, which is respectful as well. I mean, more power to her. I mean, she's going to make bread. She's going to have her own signature shoe. I mean, she's going to be doing just fine. She got herself a new coach. They're going to have a good year, etc. So, I would love to know what happened, what transpired that she's not going to be playing in that league. That's very interesting to me. One thing I did want to cover was ESPN put out just a simple title. I don't know why they do this. They're virtue signaling for everything in the world. And Tommy DeVito gets named the starting quarterback, and one of the most racist displays of anti-Italian anti-American Italianism as I've ever seen, which I don't even know if that's a thing, American Italianism, but it is now, Italian Americanism. They said that he's trying to stay away from all the hoopla. Disgusting, guys. It's disgusting. Don't talk about Tommy Cutlets like that. It's fucking vile, all right? Hoopla, Jesus. Oh, God, I'll leave you guys with this. Tyson versus Paul 2, him beating up Logan. What's a better fight? Tyson versus Paul 2 or Jake versus Logan? What's the better fight? What would you pay? What would you actually spend your money on? Watching Mike Tyson fight Logan Paul? No. I want to see Jake fight Logan. That's what I'd spend my money on. I would pay higher pay-per-view money to watch Jake fight Logan. I think that I would, and I think other people would too. I really do. I really see that as the fight to make, especially after Jake's like, yeah, this is my uncle. I love this guy. And then Logan's going to stand there and be like, I'd fucking knock you out, dude. It's like, bro, your brother would beat you up and he couldn't knock him out. So I don't know what you're taking, but hey, let me get some. Anyways. Look, Inside the Mind of an Idiot. Would love for you to stick around. Keep watching on a daily basis. Thank you for watching. If you do watch any clips, appreciate it. I'm going to incorporate some more stuff that, me, myself, the idiot, I'm interested in learning some stuff. I'm interested in, I'm not going to pretend that I know everything. I want to learn. I need to learn from other people when it comes to things like, what's going on in politics and stuff like that. I mean, overseas, it's just insane because, even with like all the appointments and all the stuff that Trump does when he's like the whole Matt Gaetz thing, right? Like that intrigues me because, he doesn't, he's not like appointing him or whatever, right? He nominates certain guys. He nominates certain positions. This is stuff I'm learning about, but he nominates certain positions and then they get voted upon. He's nominated this Matt Gaetz guy, and this is stuff I want to learn about. So, if you guys see anything you like, if you don't, just don't even tell me. Just tell me you like it and lie to me.